There was a trend for a while of novelty pizza.
Yeah.
You know, where it was just like, what ridiculous toppings can I put together to be Instagrammable?
Yeah.
And
Whereas
now
it's like,
now you're seeing people starting to rein themselves in again.
Yeah.
And do things that have some discipline.
Well, I think those are both happening at the same time. Mm-hmm. I don't think we're out of the woods with the...
No, we certainly
crazy
no,
stuff.
we're never going to be out of the woods with that. But you know, I mean, as long as there's ego.
I've done that before. I'm not gonna lie. I did a nacho pizza.
I did a macaroni and cheese one. And it wasn't one of my prouder moments.
Let's hear your dark pizza secrets.
This is the confessional. I'm the priest.
I didn't know anything when we first started. There was one night when we had tickets on the board and we were out of dough, and so we thought we'd just make some dough real quick.
Really?
Yes.
And you're open for business? Real
like,
people?
We were as a real restaurant that people could walk in and allegedly order pizza. And, like,
And you were making the dough. You're like, yeah, we're making it fresh.
I was like,
Great.
we ran out. Let's make some more.
That's why that pizza was so crappy that time I went.
Yeah, of course.
So what, did you make some with it? Or no?
Yeah, we got the tickets on the board. It was, I mean, who
You just,
knows
like,
what?
rolled it out and just...
No, we put it in the mixer and
And then, like...
rested for 30
Plus,
minutes.
he was in Brooklyn, so he got awesome Yelp reviews.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
Give me a pizza that tells me who you are.
Yeah.
Right.
That's really, you know, that's what it comes down to ultimately. Those are the most interesting pizzas. The ones we really love are the ones that are an expression of a particular person.
Does that ever bug you when people eat what you make and it's not what they expect?
Well, the one thing that I come into contact with a lot is you're fighting a food memory, especially when it comes to pizza, because everyone grows up with what they know as pizza. And more or less, when they come into a restaurant that they've never been before, they don't know what style it is. They're fighting a food memory and a feeling, and
That's huge.
and to fight a food memory of grandma.
When does something go from being my own personal interpretation and being a style?
What defines a style?
Oh, I mean, I'm all up in that. I've been obsessed over that for the past couple of years. And I think it's multiplicity. So various places doing the same kind of thing that are not necessarily related. It being a specific reference to like a time or a place or an ingredient or a piece of equipment that's tied to it, not just an idea. It's not regionally specific to throw cold cheese on top of a hot slice of pizza. But it is to use a certain pan or a certain pepper or whatever it might be. And then I think having reference to that style from beyond a region is also really powerful. Like referencing New Haven.
It's like giving it power.
Right.
Yeah. Like
So
in Chicago.
I'm working on a Tokyo-style pizza project in Kuwait. And so,
Wow.
so we
Wait, define Tokyo style.
well, that's what we flew to Japan to find out. So
So you were studying what was going on in Tokyo.
yeah, so I went to, and I feel like I figured it out, and it made me understand more how a style evolves, right? So you can go to Tokyo and you can get straight up Neapolitan pizza. There's a place there called Daisa, and that guy, he goes to Naples, he wins championships. Yeah, he does a great job. But then there's another place called Sirinkan, and that guy went to Italy but didn't study anywhere. He just kind of ate pizza and checked stuff out. And then he came back and he's like, I'm just gonna figure this out.
Yeah.
And like
This
he
pizza
had
looks
his,
like a mess.
it's some of the
Yeah,
best,
but it's
some of the
his
best
pizza.
pizza.
You know, but it's his
It's
pizza.
some of the best pizza I've ever had in my life. It's incredible.
Yeah.
But he
So what makes it?
he had some eccentricity. Well, so he put his eccentricities into the pizza. The way he stretches out the dough, he does this thing where he pinches it and it kind of it indents the crust, the cornicione, if you want to call it that. Like he dimples it, right? And so it has this starfish kind of looking crust. And then he haphazardly puts the mozzarella and the tomato on there, like kind of freeform, and then salt over the whole thing. Lots and lots of olive oil before it goes in. And there's usually just the margarita and the marinara. And so then, and he has a hi-hat that he uses to hold his peel because he's a jazz drummer. He's really young.
That's
That's
cool.
cool.
Yeah. So the hi-hat holds the peel, and then he pulls it onto the peel, and he fires one pizza at a time. The other thing is when they do the marinara, they he uses a butter knife to slice up the garlic a minute.
So it's big fat chunk.
No, it's super thin,
But with a butter knife.
but it has a little. It's like serrated.
Yeah.
Brilliant though, but it's like that essential oil. It's the purest way to get the garlic onto that pizza.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's huge.
So
He's doing
isn't
it.
that more interesting than seeing somebody go to Japan and try to do an imitation Neapolitan pizza to you?
So much more interesting. And so then a guy works there and he leaves and he starts Savoy. And then a guy works there and he leaves and he starts PST. And then the guy moves to Kyoto and who worked there, he starts Il Papalardo. And now you have
They're all
a
evolutions.
Tokyo style
yeah.
pizza. And so and for me, now I'm going to be contributing to that because this client is like, I want this Tokyo style pizza. And I'm like, I don't know what that is, but I have to discern what it is based on like those little eccentricities and then reapply them somewhere else.
You've got to study somebody else's haphazard, almost accidental, like personal fingerprint.
Yeah.
And replicate a fingerprint.
Yeah, it's fun.
Which it's
fun
totally
job.
awesome. But it's like I think it's more like following the mark of like a record producer through a bunch of records and being like, oh, that sound, that's the thing, and it's that person's sound that then gets mimicked by other people. And the reason why New York is a style is when you refer to it from somewhere else. So nobody in New York, I think, ever called it New York style. I think it's
Go for a slice. Yeah.
I had deep dish last night, but I have never made it. And I do actually have a friend at home who's like, can you make the butter cream? Can you do like the classic, or can you do some sort of Chicago style pizza?
So I'm going to show you how to do it, all right?
Okay.
But I'm going to show you how to do it my way.
Right, that's what
and
I
I'm
want,
I'm just going to let you know another thing, all right? In Chicago, if I was ever to put flowers on top of a pizza, the flowers would probably be with me in the casket when they pushed me to go inside the wall. All right, so I'll show you how to do it, but I'm going to do it traditional,
Okay.
all right? So it's really about getting the edge of the crust really nice and that flakiness that comes from that melted cheese from the middle, and then work your way pushing up the sides. And then leave yourself some slack on the edge, because then we're going to
Yeah, I'm
push
just gonna
that
kind
down.
of come into the corner.
The corner is the
and
most important
then
part.
Push the air out.
That's it. I want to do this in layers because the idea being that when we cut into this and we do that pull,
Yeah.
all right, I like to be able to see all the layers in there, right? I want to put the spinach on the bottom layer because in my crazy mind, I feel like you've got that heat from the bottom, and
Yeah.
again, some of that extra steam will come out. We're going to make actual vent holes in this thing. Give it a nice sprinkling, a nice layer of mozzarella, but we're not going to go very thick, all right? This is really just to make the layers. So now let's do a nice layer of the sausage, the same way like you did the spinach. And when I brown this off, I purposely leave some of these bigger. I don't want it to be ground beef.
Okay.
Let's do another layer of cheese, another thin layer. There's a method to my madness, believe me.
No. I don't think it's too thick or anything. I think
No,
just-
it's good. We'll take the pan and we'll give it a jiggle.
Yeah.
Like this, and you'll kind of see that everything kind of gets where it needs to go.
Yep.
All right? So the last thing I want you to do is go ahead and I want you to put another layer of spinach on top, a little thinner this time, right? Because we're getting to the top here, and we want to make sure that we got room to put that cover and then hold the sauce.
Right. So cool.
And again, this one we want it to get nice and thin. I don't care how you get there.
Okay,
That's just, you know,
okay.
when you, there you go. That's one way. There you go. Okay. That's great. So what I want to do is I'm going to take a little bit of water, go all the way around. If you had a little squirt bottle or a spray bottle, you can do the same thing. Just give it a little bit of a mist, you know, all the way around. Put it on top, and then we're going to crimp it just like you're going to crimp the top of a pie crust.
Okay.
The first one I do is I took with my fingers. I make a little pinch, and I
Okay.
make a hole, all right? So this way now, we're going to start to press down on this thing.
Okay.
Okay? So now, the last thing we're going to do before we crimp it, I want to go all around and just make those vent holes.
Okay.
Can't make too many of them here, right? Again, nice and flat.
So you need this to be completely airtight.
Yeah, because we're gonna trim around it,
Okay.
and if we do it the right way, you won't see the two layers. They'll all be one layer,
Right. Okay,
and then it'll
okay.
bake
that
out.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, that's perfect. And then the final is the trim, okay?
All right.
So just like we do a pie crust, we're gonna go all the way around, all the way down. So this way, it's nice and smooth. You see that?
This is really.
That's perfect.
This is beautiful. Look at that. I think that's so
And
pretty.
these are tomatoes from Parma. Okay, Parma, Italy. They're ground tomatoes, and the thing I love about them is that the Parma tomato, because of the climate, they're a little sweeter, and you don't get that acidity at the end that you get, like let's say in the Semarzano tomato, because you're so close to the equator, you get that little bit of acidity. So this is a sweet tomato, but I love the flavor that comes out of this, and it's an Italian tomato. So I try to do this. I know that if my mother was going to eat this, that was the first thing she'd say is, "I those Italian tomatoes." Sorry, we're gonna put Italian tomatoes on, you know. What we do with the sauce is we kind of give it a shake.
Okay. Yeah.
All right, and get it to spread all the way around.
All right.
You're a pro.
This is
Forget about it.
cool. I know. Come on. Come on.
The final little kiss. All right.
All right.
That little finishing step. We take a little bit of Parmigiano, and we just kind of give this just like this. Go ahead, give it a little bit more. And this is, again, when you see the pictures and, you know, everybody does that, you know, the social media thing. This is the pizza that comes to the table. It's just really awesome.
This is
all right?
beautiful. I think it's so gorgeous.
Do this. I'm using this this Breville oven, and I'm using the pan pizza setting.
Okay.
All right. In this oven, I'm gonna do no magic. It's just what it came out of the box with, right?
Yeah.
So I'm using this pan. When it comes out of the oven, we're gonna pop it up and we're gonna serve it.
All right.
All right.
Can't wait.
Oh, it's in the oven?
Yeah.
We're in the oven.
Good. We are starving. It's like we're sitting over here
20
watching you from
minutes.
afar.
It's only 20 minutes. Yeah.
It's only 20 minutes?
18.
18.
That's not bad.
So this is way faster
Well,
than we
you
would
can't
have in the
eat it.
restaurant.
Yeah,
You gotta
whenever
let
I
it
can.
cool off, right? How long? You have to let it cool off or set or
No.
anything? You just eat it. Okay.
Just cut it and then
Yeah.
put it on a plate.
Okay.
And you eat it with a knife and fork. You know,
Yeah.
this is, I think, another why
yeah.
people love to
I don't
hate
know if
it.
I can-
You know, like
yeah.
we eat it with a knife and fork. I'm the first guy to grab a slice in my hands and just start going at it, but
No one should be hating this.
No,
It's
I don't
really,
think so.
it's like making a pie. Like, it's beautiful. There's nothing, like, people
Hey, look,
love it,
we're
like,
sitting over
yeah.
there staring
No.
at
I'm trying to make mistakes. Like actively now, I've gotten so much good stuff out of making mistakes that I'm actively trying to make mistakes. Like with my natural leavening, one thing I figured out was I was in California, in Napa, I was making pizza, and I did all natural leavening like I normally do, and you know, we wanted to just get out of there. It was a little early for me to go in the fridge, but I was like, okay, fine, we're gonna go in the fridge. I'm kind of afraid it's gonna be under tomorrow. But overnight, we came back and the fridge had broken.
Oh, God.
The whole walk-in. The walk-in broke.
Sarah nightmare.
Oh, the guy I'm with, he walks in and all of his stuff is ruined in the walk-in. But I was like, yeah, but my doughs are
Yeah.
amazing looking. Yeah, they look great. And I figured out like that temperature, 60 degrees, was like a great temp for my starter, my that I bring with me, my sourdough. So
When people make pizza at home, or like if they're not home cooks or not pizza makers, they're probably so afraid to make the mistake that they just don't even touch it. So
Yeah.
the fact that you're professionals and you want to make the mistakes because then you'll get better should hopefully remind a home cook that like you should.
yeah, I mean.
Okay, so then to help all these raw vegetables cook, we're gonna kind of toss them here. Probably a little too much that. The kale. This one has cabbage,
beautiful
and
colors.
then the tomatoes.
Your pizzas always have a beautiful look
I mean, it's
before
not.
you even bite it.
There's so many the vegetables. I mean, like I didn't really do anything. you know, it's
you
like-
did. Like,
but yeah.
you didn't mess them up.
No, it's true. Yeah. Okay, so we have this, and the great thing is you can try this and make sure that it's like seasoned,
Yeah, it's a good idea. We should try this.
which is great for pizza because a lot of times you're topping pizzas, you're kind of like, I think I did it. You only get to tell at the very end. So usually, like I don't mess with the stove too much. It's very chill. I don't want to smash the gas out of it. I want to leave it. So that's it. My little method is I have the parm in here. I put down, same as you, like the thin layer of aged mozz. This goes on every pizza we make. Then I put this one. This has a lot of toppings on it. I mean, I'd say like I do in general use this much on a veggie pie,
Man, I love that.
but and so I like layering this like you layered yours. It's like it helps it cook,
Yeah.
and so then you just like burn all the vegetables on top.
So the shredded mozzarella, it's it, just on the base.
on the base.
Where's the tomato sauce?
I know. Well, we have one with tomato sauce at Lovely's if you want to, if you show up, if you come.
No, I gotta go.
Come visit.
I got to.
No, we have two. We have two right now.
Oh, cool.
2 out of 7 will have tomato.
I love the cross pizza action happening. Oh my god. Everywhere I turn, it's like a fantasy. Oh yeah. Oh. Whoa. Whoa.
And just like that.
Whoa.
Boom.
Look at the color on this thing.
Yep.
So again, that beautiful caramelized cheese on the sides, you know, we got that beautiful sauce. It was loose, but then it becomes pasty in the oven. And this is your typical Chicago stuffed pizza.
Leo, how are you gonna cut this?
So what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna
Look at this knife.
that's a knife. And normally we have a cheese knife that we usually use, is pretty traditional.
Oh.
And then
Like a spear type
the
looking?
long candle.
Oh, wow.
And then we just, you know, whack at this thing. But you could hear that crispiness in that crust.
Look, the cheese is already starting to string out.
Yes.
All right, and then I'm gonna keep it all nice and closed like this. And when we go to the table with it, you're gonna see the magic.
Yes. Sarah, you're the best. I just love these pies cut into 6.
Oh, yeah.
Kills me. Kills me when they're cut into 8.
Never 8.
I know. Thank you. Look at these cousins.
I know I'm gonna say something that's sacrilegious, but pineapple on a pizza.
I was hoping you'd say it.
I'm not afraid of pineapple.
It does work.
I'm not either.
It works. Yeah.
You tell me
you
that
can-
people who work in pizza professionally unanimously are okay with pineapple. Why do people argue about it so much?
If you think about ham and pineapple, why ham and pineapple is no good, but fig and prosciutto is okay.
Right. No.
There you go.
Right.
Yeah.
Strangest request you've ever gotten to put on a pizza.
Peanut butter and anchovy.
Did you do it?
Wait, together?
Wait.
Pregnant woman.
Yeah.
Had
With
peanut butter.
the
I
white
had
chili
peanut
peppers on
butter,
top of it to really
and I had
kickstart it.
anchovies.
But wait. I want to hear. Can you walk me through the structure of this pizza? Was it tomato, cheese?
The guy wanted tomato on it also. We put a layer of peanut butter.
Oh, that is
He was
crazy.
from Thailand.
Okay,
And
that
he
makes
Oh.
sense.
So
That
the
makes
flavors of your
sense.
past.
All right, he liked peanut.
And
He liked
cheese.
peanut and fish.
That makes sense
Okay,
now.
then it makes
But
more
with
sense.
tomato?
Cheese too?
Put tomato on it
Lots?
too. Yeah,
How did it taste to you?
I didn't eat it.
Of course not.
I'm always looking to like make a new good mushroom pizza because as you said, I was like raised vegetarian and like besides the cheese pizza, you know, like a mushroom pizza was always like was my favorite. It was like my version of like a sausage pizza, you know, it was like hearty and rich and like where it's cold, we're in Chicago, it's wintry, and do my mushroom pizza. It's, I got a mix in here, cremini, oyster, and then there's some chanterelles because like someone else was paying, so might as well just like go for it. So it's just salt and olive oil and some thyme and some white wine vinegar. Once those are roasted, those are gonna go on the pizza, and then I have just like some fresh mozzarella. I'm gonna have to keep checking these because I want them to get right close.
Do you mess with them while they're cooking, or?
No. I like to just like if I was to do these on a sheet tray in a wood oven, I would just let them go and then just pull them out and because then the bottom just gets a nice sear. It's like all about moisture comes out, they're swimming in their own moisture goes away, then they start to crustify, and then it's like right to the edge of like you almost burnt it. Because especially if you're gonna put it on, you're gonna cook them again, but again it's gonna be very short cook time.
Yeah. How long?
I mean, I'm gonna try and cook the pizza in 2 minutes. See what this puppy will do. Take it out on the open road. Step on the gas. You can see it's all that steam is coming out is like, you know, just all the moisture coming out of the mushrooms. And then the other thing I did is I made like this little white wine lemon cream sauce, which normally I would strain, but we're gonna go rustico on this one today. It's just garlic and white wine that I reduce, some white vinegar, cream, and butter.
These mushrooms smell amazing.
Yeah, let's see what's going on in there. Oh, mamma mia. I mean, what do you guys think?
It smells great.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool. Oh yeah.
Crusty,
Check the seasoning there.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, crazy. All right, we'll just set those there for right now, and I guess I can get my dough.
smells so good.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yummy.
Good. Seasoning,
Real salt.
little salt.
But I'm salty, so.
Yeah, I hear that. Let me. So I'm gonna grab one of my weird doughs. I made.
Yeah, but Leo's got like the samurai knife.
Yeah, I mean,
What you know?
yeah,
how many
that's
guys
what I
use
want
it.
right there. Yeah.
It's the special Spizzirri
Here's
style.
from the
Yeah,
rock
And
of
it's like,
Vesuvius.
God forbid anything happens to you, but
Yeah,
if you
I
did
get it.
lose a hand, you should get a screw on there, and you would have you could be like,
We're making the comics.
dude,
Spizzirri.
that would
That's
be,
awesome.
that would be very cool.
In the next edition.
All right, I'm gonna try and
That'd
get
be
this
so
thing
awesome,
out
though.
in one piece. I don't know how this is gonna work.
You know what's interesting watching you guys too? Like everybody's got their own technique of opening up a dough ball, and like we call out in school we talk about all the different ways, slap technique, bench grade, stretching. But just to see like how Sarah did it, how you're doing it, Anthony, it's amazing. I mean, ultimately we're always opening a dough ball, but everybody's got that little technique, and it makes a big difference in the pizza itself.
Hot mushrooms on here, playing with fire here. Hope this can get some
Minimal cheese.
Yep. So we're just gonna throw this thing in and see what happens.
Yeah. Oh yeah, straight through. Oof.
Uh-oh.
8.
He did 8. He did 8 stars.
Well, how many? It's a way to go.
We're out of here.
How many was this? Was there a conversation about 8 versus?
They teased me because I made eight slices versus 6,
we're
and
just
now you did
saying
8. So you
6 is cool, but
Small
8,
format
you brought balance to the force.
8 is more.
That's awesome.
Looks great.
That's the best I can do in such short notice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm interested to see it. I've never made this dough before either.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, yeah, look at that. It holds straight out there. No tip sag.
Delicious.
Unexpected. Cool. I'm glad you guys like my pizza.
I love it. Can we make another one?
Yeah, we could.
Another one.
Good luck getting those doughs out of that tray.
Yeah, that was a little bit. They are gassy.
You know, 5 years ago, I think the trend was, everything was about Detroit style. Everybody wanted to do Detroit style. But now it's like, again, with that evolution, it's really turned into guys wanting to learn about starters, which is huge for me, long maturation, which again, we're going back to these, sourdoughs and, really the characteristics of the, bacteria that are actually inside of the dough working, not just the yeast,
Right.
And I think that's really, to me, where I see the trend going. People wanting to learn about artisan baking all the way down to the amateur level. And that's huge, man.
This is the cool thing about what you're saying is that he's talking about everything you're mentioning now is about dough. And about baking, like it sounds like the trend that you're saying is all about.
I think it's about the base and the baking in general. Going back to being an artisan baker, it's huge.
Is that the case also on the West Coast? Are the trends the same?
Well, I see a lot of that too. The Roman people wanting to know about Roman, but about the base, the fermentation, and they're looking for structure. They don't really know what that means and how to get it, but they want it. But I also see a lot of it going back to tradition. People going back to, they want to know about grandma. They want to know about Detroit. They want to know about the traditional styles of pizza. They might not know the nuances between, let's say, different neighborhoods and what makes them different, but they know that on a whole, they're looking at an umbrella.
I'm waiting for innovations in farming, plant breeding, wheat breeding. I'm always waiting for people to signal to me what we're going to have. And I'm just so insanely lucky to be really small and work with farmers who farm 1 or 2 people on 2 acres, and they only sell to me and 3 other people. It's stupid. I mean, that's what I'm working with. So I'm constantly working to be smaller and have, everyone's like, oh yeah, when are you gonna open the second place? I was like, man, I've had a place for 15 years. Never. If I was gonna do that, I would have already done it. Seriously, would have done it immediately. It's just that we have a family restaurant. It's me, my sister, my mom. Of course, our whole family's involved in it, and we aren't going to grow it. But for me, I am definitely interested in keeping that part small and then also traveling to gain ideas and gain, like you said, anyone that you watch, cook, pizza maker, anybody who you run into and get a demonstration from or eat something that they made, you learn so much, and then you take that back, and it's not like you're going to make some giant change in your process, but it's the little tweaks that you can just every year get better and better and better and try, or at least try to.
I'm thinking about texture. I want that creaminess. I want that little bit of contrast. And the fresh mozzarella tends to have a little bit more of a milky flavor.
I saw that zucchini sitting around and I was like, when is
Yeah.
that happening?
I was trying to dry it out a little bit because I don't want to add too much moisture to the pie.
Oh, that one's gonna have andouille and honey? Heat, sweet, and then John, classic pie.
Right, but I did, I did my usual, I put the cheese down first, I put the sauce on top.
The sliced cheese.
Yeah.
Sliced low moisture?
Yeah.
Cool.
And a little bit of, what my secret weapon is.
Oh, anchovy. Anchovy, love it.
Not enough so it's fishy, not enough so that, not enough so that
How
you know
many
it's there.
slivers?
For a number 10 can of tomatoes, I use 3 anchovy fillets.
So, okay,
3
so,
fillets for that whole can.
Yeah.
so, but if I'm
I don't
using,
want people to bite into it and say fish.
And we're doing brown anchovies, right?
Yeah.
all right, guys, John's pie is out.
Come on over.
You may as well come over to celebrate the emergence of Laura's pie. Oh, and cheese after.
Beautiful.
Parmigiano Reggiano?
No, it's pecorino.
Pecorino.
I want that little bit of saltiness.
Oh, look at that.
Delicious.
Did such a good job of like tearing off the right size of like fresh mozzarella, like where it melted to like it's not over melted and it's not a lump. It's like
Looks great.
Yeah, well, 8 years of college wasn't lost on me.
Don't even cut it. We're just all gonna bite it from the side. Nice 6 slices.
That's good.
Perfect.
Was there 6 of them?
Watch and learn, youngster.
There are
About 50-50 now.
Oh, I see the flex. Oh,
it looks too hot.
yeah, I'm not diving in yet.
Can't forget.
You almost killed your body.
I really wanted that.
Laura's pie is out.
I really wanted that nice, crunchy. I can drive a car with it. It's all good. So I was always taught, especially with pizza, that have a lot of finishing ingredients. You cut it first before you top it.
Smart. So you don't mess up the look.
Exactly.
Can you cut it into 15 slices?
So I got that andouille that we've been talking about all day. I do. And then now we got that honey. And then
Salt, sweetness, heat.
Oh, now you're just showing off.
just to make it
Lemon
pop.
juice.
And the big thing about it for me is when I pick this up,
Oh, yeah. There you
stick
go.
straight out. That's what I'm looking for. I want that little bit of crisp.
There is a time when all of a sudden, we call that that organized chaos of the kitchen, But then you get into that Zen moment where you stop thinking and your hands just go. And I think that's really where that special thing happens, and especially for me,
Just like you'll do things and you'll say, well, I got that from my uncle. You'll make a gesture, some little flick of your wrist,
Right.
and it just triggers. And
you
go,
remember
I know
who
where-
taught
I
it to
know
you,
where I
right?
got that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then someday you'll see your own employees doing it,
That's right.
and it's like,
They got it from you, got it from your uncle.
believe me, it's going to happen to you someday. Someday you're going to take a dough ball out of a box and touch it, and you're going to remember everybody that ever meant anything to you, everybody that taught you anything, everybody that you loved, and you're going to transmit that from your hands into the pizza. And at that point, everything changes. You become a different pizza maker when you realize that you're connected and you're keeping people alive that were important to you through your hands and through your heart.
That's amazing.
And then it becomes something else.
John, who were those inspirations for you?
My dad, my uncles, my aunts, my mom, we all worked in the pizzeria together.
Your family's pizza.
Right. Every time I take a dough ball out of a tray, they're alive. You're going to get to that point. I guarantee it. And then you're a pizza maker.